Hi everyone, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel FlairbyMe here on YouTube, and today I would like to share with you guys my first Doily book that I created using the Precious Memories Collection Kit, the one I have available from my Etsy store. And so this is a video of the tutorial, Doily book tutorial, and then I cut two big circles from the material that I included in the kit, and the size is just a little bit smaller than the dollies because I plan to cover the dolly. And then after that I use the dangle trim from the kit to cover the bottom part, and then I will use one of the vintage um, girl image, the one I put in the kit. And then next I will cut the white trim that I have available in my store. It's not included in the trim, so if you like, you can purchase it separately. And then next I add the dangle trim in a cream color, and then the white trim, the one I included in the kit. And then after that I cut the vintage applique that I put in the kit. I cut them into pieces so I can put it around the picture. And then I add the cabochon, the rose cabochon um, from the kit, and then dollies. I layer dollies after dollies, and then on top I put the pink rosette flower and the vintage rhinestone button from the kit. And then next I have these square dollies, and I cut it into half because I want to create a little pocket for the dolly book. And then I use a little piece of material to cover the top part of the dollies, and then I attach it to the dolly book. And then at the bottom I add more dangle trim, and then after that, to make the flowers, I just layer dollies after dollies. And then after that, the very top I put my rose flower from the kit, and it's my handmade flower. Next I cut the little piece of vintage dolly into a heart shape and add it in there. And then this is the third page. So I have this cream vintage dolly, and I just cut the middle because I want to make it into a frame, the picture frame. And then I add another girl picture in there. Okay, so I put the picture at the center, and then after that I will layer it with the white laces. So I put the glue in the inner side, so I can cover some of the dollies that you can see next to the picture. And then after that I use the vintage applique, wedding applique I have from my stash, and that is my handmade flower using the material, and I use the vintage button as the center. And then next is the other pink rosette flower. Okay, and then at the bottom I add more dangle trim from the kit, both layers. And then next I will cut into pieces the other laces, the white lace, Venice lace, so I can arrange it and put it at the bottom of the dolly. Now I'm gluing them down. I add the ivory ribbon flower from the kit. Okay, and I put flat back pearl. Okay, next I will put the white laces around it and glue it down. And then there's another dangle trim in cream color. And then there is another sickle from the material I cut, and I plan to make it into pocket for the dolly book. So I fold it into half, and then put glue around it just at the bottom and the side. You don't want to glue it all down because you want to make it into a pocket. And then after that I layer it with the white and pink lace. The lace is very delicate. It has some pink accent on it. Okay. It's actually very fun to create this dolly book, and I don't really use a lot of trim from the kit because I only use the leftover, and I have just a little bit of each from each laces and trim. And after that I add the cream trim, I mean lace from the kit. I glue it down, and then I cut the same white trim to put on top of the top side of the book. Glue them down. If the lace is you can see through the glue, I will use the fabric tag. But to glue down the laces and things that you're just gonna cover it anyway, I will put hot glue. And then next I put the rhinestone trims that I included in the kit. And then remember the vintage dolly I cut in the middle? Okay, so that is the center part, and I will use it to create another layer of flower. Add another vintage dolly. And then I use the dusty rosette flower, and I use one of the button from the silvery vintage button that I have available at my Etsy store, and I glue it down using E6000 glue. And then next I cut into pieces the little ivory trim or lace that I put in the kit. I cut it into pieces so I can put it around the bottom part of the pocket. And then I add the fabric pearl. Next I will use both of the sentiment that I included in the trim, and then I stain it with using a tea dye by Tim Holtz. Okay, and then I will put one in there and the other one at the other pocket. Okay, so that is the little dangle that I put at the bottom of my flower to give a little bit shabby chic looking. And then next I adhere the sentiment, and at the bottom of the sentiment I use a little bit of vintage lace from my stash. Okay, and then the other sentiment I put on the other pocket. Okay, now we're working on the third page. I mean the fifth page. So I used the other vintage girl image, and then I use my trim from my stash, and I glue it down, and I use some tangle trim from my stash, and I add actually the Venice lace. I cut it into pieces, so I created a little tangle in there, and then I use this cute ribbon, embroider ribbon that I included in the kit. And then I use this like a wedding gown trim from my stash. It's a heavily sequins in iridescent color. Next, I add this wedding applique that I received from Anna, Asian Tiger, here on YouTube. So I glue it down and cover the top part of the picture. And then there's still little pieces and I want to reuse it, so I add on the next of the picture. I add it in there, and then the white dollies from the kit, I cut the center part, and then after that I add another dolly and then layer it with my handmade roll rose in like cream color or tan color. Okay, now I'm working on the last page. I add more dangle trim and cut into pieces the Venice lace, white Venice lace, to add as a dangle in there, and that's I add a vintage dolly, embroidered dolly in there, and more vintage dolly in cream color, and I use the white dolly from the trim. After that, glue it down. Go, and then another dusty rose color from the kit, and then I use some a little flower applique from my stash, and then add a Feldback Pro at the center. So I don't really do a lot on the last page. It's just because it's going to be on the back side, but of course I still want it to look finished, so I make it look pretty. So yeah, and now it's just the embellishing time, where I add more embellishment to each of the page. I add some paper flower in there from my stash, and some more flatback pro for the dangles. And then the dangle trim is also from the kit, and I will layer it at the bottom of my pocket, and then on top of it I will put this dangle trim, plastic trim in every color. Okay, next is another trim applique that I have available in my Etsy store, so you can purchase it separately. So here is the finished look of my Doily book. I add more embellishments such as the little bow and the ivory flower, also the butterfly applique, and actually around the wing I put Swarovski beads as well as the dangle trims. The next page I add two vintage ladies images as the tags, and I actually finish the tags a little bit so they look pretty. And in the pockets you can actually put anything you want to put in there, such as pictures, photos, or memories, items. So you can follow me on my social media on Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram with the same name, Flair by Me. You can check my website, flairbymE.net, and my blog, flairbymE.net/blog. And you can also check my boutique on my website. So this is the next page, and I just add the ivory flower in there. Um, and then sequins flower appliques. The next page I add the vintage rose image and use it as the tag. I add more sequins applique flowers, butterfly applique, and in this page I add vintage buttons and paper flowers, more the ivory flower applique, and this is the last page. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like it, please thumb up. Bye bye.